I used to be an ambassador for the WWF, and each year we went through, and it was hardly credible, the number of species that were disappearing. It is almost extraordinary to think that that rot could be stopped, but we're now going to hear from the man with that perhaps almost impossible task. He's the Secretary General of CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, John Scanlon. John.
We share our planet with millions of species of wild animals and plants, and they keep us alive. They produce fresh air, clean water, healthy soils. They're used every day to make medicine, food, furniture, and they support cultural, recreational, and tourism pursuits. Yet while they keep us alive, the future of wildlife is in our hands. We alone will determine the fate of the world's wildlife, and with it, our own destiny. Now, you may not know it, but everyone in this room has a critical role to play in ensuring the survival of the world's wildlife. And I'm going to tell you why, but not just yet, because I need to set the scene a little bit. Wildlife-based tourism has many different facets. It includes enjoying wild animals and plants in the air, on the land, beneath the surface of the water. And here's an image for you to look at. It's an image of some of our most beautiful wild animals and plants, large and small. Now, when you look at an image like this, doesn't it inspire you to want to fight for wildlife? Yeah? Okay, those watching the webcast, everybody is nodding their head right now. Now, what better year than this year, the International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development, than to take up this fight? Now, you know your industry better than anyone else. You know that wildlife-based tourism occupies a particular niche. You know that it is growing across all regions. You know that it generates jobs, and as was said by Ian Golding yesterday, including in areas that are remote from capital. This includes providing great support to some of our most precious places, our UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Now, WWF just released a report last week, and it says that 93% of natural heritage sites support recreation and tourism, and 91% of them generate jobs. It says that in Belize, 50% of the population is supported by the income generated through reef-related tourism and fisheries. Yet the natural asset that underpins this tourism, the wildlife, is under severe threat. And it's under threat from habitat loss, from pollution, infrastructure, climate change, overexploitation, illegal wildlife trade. And if we cannot get a handle on these threats, we are going to lose the wildlife. Now, if you lose the wildlife, you've lost your wildlife-based tourism. If you lose your wildlife-based tourism, you have lost your business. Now, I don't have time today to go through all of the threats. I'm going to focus on one. This is a threat that poses a grave threat to the world's wildlife, and perhaps the most immediate threat to the world's wildlife. It is one where you can make a critical contribution, and it's one that's captured in Goal 15.7 of the Sustainable Development Goals, and that is addressing the issue of illegal wildlife trade. Over the last decade, we have been confronting a surge in illegal trade in wildlife. It is driven by transnational, organised criminal groups who are poaching and smuggling at industrial scales. The estimate is that this illegal trade today is worth around $20 billion every year. Now, that ranks it alongside illicit trafficking in narcotics and people. The UN World Wildlife Crime Report estimates that around 7,000 species of animals and plants are being impacted by the illegal wildlife trade across every region. Now, I can't deal with them all today, but I do want to give you a few examples, just to give you a sense of the scale, the industrial scale of this illegal wildlife trade. The killing of the African elephant for its ivory is one of the most devastating wildlife crimes. And we saw in a period of just 3 years, 100 African elephants slaughtered for their ivory. In some places, such as in Central Africa, the killing is so great that we will very soon see local extinctions of the African elephant. We had rhino poaching pretty much under control a decade ago. Back in 2006, there were around 60 rhino poached on the African continent. From that point on, it steadily increased. Last year, we had over 1,300 rhino poached for their horn. Now, this is not just affecting well-known species like the elephant and the rhino. This is affecting lesser-known species such as the pangolin. And that's in the left-hand corner of the slide you can see. It's an anteater. It's found across Asia and Africa. It's sought after for its scales and its meat. It's being poached and smuggled at huge quantities. In one seizure alone, 10 tons of pangolin meat was confiscated. 10 tons, that's equivalent to 130 people of my weight in one seizure alone. And I have my staff in Singapore at the moment talking about the illegal trade in freshwater turtles and tortoises. 300,000 were seized in illegal trade over the last decade. Now, there are 7.2 billion people on our planet, and that number is going up. Compare and contrast that to the number of animals that are left on the planet. We have around 400,000 African elephants, around 50,000 Asian elephants. There are about 25,000 rhinos left in Africa and about 3,500 left in Asia. Vietnam and Mozambique have both lost their last rhino to poachers. There are less than 100 Javan and 100 Sumatran rhinos left on the planet, and there is one male northern white rhino left on the planet, and it is under guard 24/7. There are around 20 to 40,000 African lions, around 350 Asiatic lions, around 7,000 cheetahs, 3,800 tigers, 800 mountain gorillas, and they were profiled in that fantastic documentary, Virunga. You should see it if you haven't. And believe it or not, we are down to 30 vaquita. That's a small porpoise. 30 we're down to, and that is the most endangered cetacean on the planet. There are more people sitting in this conference room today than we have mountain gorillas, Javan, Sumatran rhinos, and vaquitas on the entire planet. Colleagues, we are literally getting down to the wire with a number of these species. If we do not act now, they will be lost, and they will be lost on our watch. Now, this is not just affecting wildlife. This is affecting local people, their livelihoods. It is affecting national economies. It is affecting local, national, and sometimes regional security. Brave rangers are being killed in the field. Local officials are being corrupted. Local communities are being deprived of the opportunity to take their own legitimate development choices. And this is affecting some of our most magnificent places, our UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Selous Reserve, a World Heritage Site in Tanzania, has been put on the endanger list because of the scale of poaching, in particular of the African elephant, and it's not alone. For the same reason, another 13 World Heritage Sites have been put on the endanger list in Africa. The WWF report I referred to, it says that around 50% of our natural heritage sites are affected by the illegal trade in wildlife, including right here in Thailand, where the Thaplan National Park, part of a World Heritage Site, is being plundered by transnational organised criminal gangs for the Siamese rosewood. It's reported that over recent years, 150 people, police, rangers and poachers, have been killed in the field in relation to this poaching. And I have seen pictures of rosewood in this park that have chains wrapped around them to stop these criminals from coming in and cutting down this timber. Now, we are very fortunate that we live in an interconnected world. You know this better than anyone else. 1.2 billion, I should say, tourist arrivals a year. 100,000 flights taking off a day, 500 million shipping containers whizzing around the planet every year. We can shift products, including wildlife products, to the four corners of the earth in no time, whether they're legally or illegally acquired. Now, the bad news is that the transnational organised criminal groups who are driving this industrial-scale illegal trade are using legitimate forms of transport to shift their contraband. The good news is that there is a global collective effort underway to combat this illegal trade. It involves the United Nations, international organisations like Interpol, World Customs Organisation, World Bank, philanthropists, the non-government sector, and the private sector. And I just want to share with you, well, before I share this example with you, I'd like to stress one thing, and this is the positive. We are seeing more international cooperation than we ever have in combating this illegal trade. And we are making good progress, including right here in Thailand, but much more needs to be done. And I want to share with you now an example of what we've been doing with the private sector. We have been engaging with the transport sector. We've been engaging with airlines, shipping companies, courier companies, cruise liners, to look at what role can the private transport sector play in assisting us in combat the illegal wildlife trade. Now, this was made possible through an initiative of His Royal Highness, the Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, who put together a transport task force. And the task force was set up to say, what is it that the private sector, the private transport sector can do to assist us? It met, it came up with a draft declaration, and that declaration was adopted. It was called the Buckingham Palace Declaration because it was adopted and signed in Buckingham Palace. It's now been signed off by 50 transport companies, and it sets out what they're prepared to do to combat the illegal wildlife trade. Now, one of the members of the task force was Sir Tim Clark. Sir Tim Clark, who runs, as you know, Emirates Airlines, attended every meeting of this task force. He signed the Buckingham Palace Declaration, he has been educating his staff, he's been informing his customers, and as you can see from this slide, he's even painted a number of his aircraft with wildlife. Sir Tim is leading by example, and I'm sure that there's a price tag associated with this, but I'm equally sure that the costs have been outweighed by the benefits. Now, this week, we're talking about transforming our world, tourism for tomorrow. And today, I am reaching out to all of you to join the fight against illegal wildlife trade. There is a lot that you can do, and I'll just give you 4 examples. Firstly, you can promote responsible wildlife tourism. You can tell people that love wildlife, don't just tweet about it, get out there, experience it, see it, smell it, feel it. You can inform your customers about the illegal wildlife trade, and in particular, be sure that they are not purchasing either illegally or unsustainably sourced wildlife or wildlife products. You can educate your staff about the illegal wildlife trade. You can empower them to be the eyes and the ears for the police out in the field. You can empower them to inform enforcement authorities when they see anything that is suspicious. But most importantly, you can invest locally. When you either establish or acquire a wildlife-based tourism initiative or venture, you make investment decisions. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to engage with, support, and invest in local communities. Experience shows that where local communities have a vested interest in their wildlife, they will be the best protectors of this wildlife. Now, I have just returned from northern Kenya. I was in the Northern Rangelands Trust, and they are pursuing a model of development through conservation. Their financing model includes about 30% of the finance coming from tourism, and that number is going up. They are employing hundreds of local Kenyans. I think the number was around 1,200 locals, all from that region. And I met with a lot of the locals. When I spoke to them, they said that when we look at wildlife, we see that we're getting security. The security is not just for the wildlife, it provides security for the people. They're getting healthcare. They say our children are getting educated. They say our development path is through conservation. Do not touch our wildlife. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Elephant poaching is down 50% in this region, and there's not been a single rhino poached for 4 years. Now, there are many other examples I could give. The Chitwan National Park in Nepal is another wonderful example, but I don't have time to give it. But what we see is that with wildlife tourism ventures, they are often remote from capitals. You'll be working with rural communities that maybe don't have a lot of opportunities, but that presents opportunities for you. If you engage, support and invest in local communities, help lift them out of poverty, you will have the best protectors of wildlife. You will have the best protectors of your business and your wildlife tourism venture. Now, you've got a choice, basically. You can choose to engage with and support local communities, to invest in local communities, to help lift them out of poverty in a way that is mutually supportive and self-sustaining, as opposed to poaching, which puts you in a poverty spiral. Or you can choose not to engage with local communities. You can choose not to invest in them. You can say, I'm going to take all the profits and take them offshore. But if you do that, and this might sound a little bit harsh, you are no better than the poacher or the smuggler. Colleagues, you are at the front line of this fight in the same way that customs police and rangers are in the front line. You are not a side player. The way in which you engage with your staff, the way in which you engage with your customers, the way in which you engage with the local communities, support them, encourage them, invest in them, give them opportunities for employment, this is transformative. You have the opportunity to change the trajectory we're on. You have the opportunity to turn around the wildlife extinction crisis. And you're not starting from scratch. You just heard from Brett Tolman, a great example of what's been done through the Tread Right Foundation. There are good examples out there, but we need more. Colleagues, the future of wildlife is in our hands. And we stand ready to work with you to make sure that your children or your grandchildren are not standing on this podium in 2050 and talking about elephants or rhinos or pangolins or lions or tigers or sharks or rays in the same way that we talk about dinosaurs and the dodo. It does not have to be that way. But if we're going to make sure that that scenario is not played out, we need all of you to join us in this fight. Thank you.
Well, as John said, you've got the opportunity to do it. You often seize those opportunities, and now it's time, I think, to celebrate some of those achievements. We've checked, we've got the winners right, we've double-checked, we've got the envelopes right. It's time for the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards.
2017, the International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development. WTTC celebrates the very best in sustainable travel and tourism businesses and organisations who really are transforming our world. Our panel of 20 expert judges considered over 200 submissions from 73 nations, all exemplifying excellence in our 5 award categories. Improving the lives and opportunities for communities where they operate. Celebrating excellence in destination stewardship. Highlighting the force for good that tourism can be on the environment. Driving innovation and sustainable solutions. Improving career opportunities for people within travel and tourism. Now, just 15 outstanding finalists remain. Each one an example of distinction, passion and achievement. One global event, 5 winners. Bangkok, Thailand. The 13th World Travel and Tourism Council Tourism for Tomorrow Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the stage the founder and chairman of Just a Drop and chair of WTTC Tourism for Tomorrow Awards, Fiona Jeffrey.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to a year that we know is very significant for our industry because it's the UN's designated International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development, and we've been reinforcing that several times throughout the conference. But what better way to celebrate than with the 2017 Tourism for Tomorrow Awards, showcasing some of the most outstanding examples of people who are taking major steps in transforming our world. It's a real honor and pleasure to be involved in these awards, not only because of my sincere belief in what they stand for, but because of the rigorous process the award applicants and ultimate finalists go through to get to this point. Our finalists, ladies and gentlemen, are not flash-in-the-pan achievements, but reflect the commitment and exceptional business practices it takes to be successful in the field of sustainable development, resulting in long-term impact and behavioural change. They are outstanding examples of some of the very best that is happening in tourism in our world, and we can all learn from the journeys that they've been on and the insights they have to offer. I also want to pay tribute to the quality and expertise of our judges. WTTC is very fortunate to have access to some of the best brains and proven capability in the sustainable tourism sector. We harness that knowledge and talent and send those judges across the world, reviewing firsthand these extraordinary finalists. To our finalists, I say, irrespective of this afternoon's results, you should walk away knowing that you are all winners and take pride and pleasure in the significant role each of you are playing in transforming our world. I've long held a belief that sustainable development is an ethical principle and that it should sit in the DNA of every travel and tourism business and organisation across the world. And it's our collective opportunity, responsibility and duty to take the necessary steps to create a better world for the future of both our planet and for our industry. So it now gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage the headline sponsor of the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards, Jeffrey C. Rutledge, and Chief Executive Officer of AIG Travel.
Thank you, Fiona. I'm honored to be here again this year representing AIG Travel as the headline sponsor for the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards. WTTC's unwavering commitment to promoting the sustainable growth of travel and tourism industry continues to inspire us, and our support for the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards is an investment in all of our futures. Together, we need to remain steadfast in our commitment to educate the travel and tourism industry on the importance of sustainable and responsible growth in order to effect real change for the benefit of future generations. AIG started its sustainability journey over 30 years ago when it first began investing in renewable energy projects. Today, we continue to be an investor in green projects and leading initiatives around the world, but we also have a strong commitment to our people. AIG has proudly scored a 100 on the Human Rights Campaign Corporate Equality Index for 6 consecutive years and continuously works to provide our employees with programs that promote health, work-life balance, and general well-being. Through our community relations activities, AIG supports safety, security, and disaster relief initiatives on a global basis. For example, as a founding member of the Together for Safer Roads Coalition, AIG works to improve road safety and reduce deaths and injuries from road traffic accidents around the world. Here in Thailand, where approximately 2 million children travel to school by motorcycle, AIG has worked with local organizations to distribute more than 15,000 helmets to those students. We believe it is essential that the travel and tourism sector makes a positive impact on the communities in which we live and work. And that is exactly what our Tourism for Tomorrow finalists have accomplished. They are proving that the sustainable growth is possible while also protecting local communities and cultural heritage and reducing the impact on our environment. These finalists have shown us that amazing things can be achieved through innovation and initiative. I know you will find hope and inspiration in their stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and we are very grateful for the support you give to Tourism for Tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see who the finalists are and ultimately who the winners are. Our first award today is the Destination Award, which is for destinations large or small that are embracing sustainability across the board, improving direct economic benefit and social benefits for local people, as well as preserving natural and cultural environments. Destinations which focus on developing better places for people to live in and better places for people to visit. The category sponsor for this award is Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, and I'd like to welcome to the stage Nicholas Matera, Senior Director of Digital Engagement at Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, together with the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards lead judge, Professor Graham Miller, Professor of Sustainability in Business at the University of Surrey in the UK.
Thank you, Fiona. As a city that evolved in order to host people, welcoming 42.9 million visitors in 2016, Las Vegas understands that destination stewardship and tourism sustainability are crucial to the tourism industry. Tourism is the lifeblood of Las Vegas's economy and continues to generate more economic activity than any single sector in the region, employing more than 400,000 in the local community. We applaud all of the destinations being recognized today for their excellence in stewardship and sustainability. We believe that as leaders in the industry, we succeed when we work together and push this industry forward through innovation and investment. Thank you.
Now let's take a look at the three finalists for the Destination Award. These are Botswana Tourism Organization, Botswana, City of Bydgoszcz in Poland, and Pallas Illustunturi National Park in Finland. Botswana has demonstrated outstanding leadership and integrity in all aspects of sustainable tourism development for many years. Working in a bio-hotspot and focusing on high-quality tourism, the Botswana Tourist Organization has created over 60,000 jobs and contributed more than $650 million to Botswana's GDP. Botswana has shown leadership in sustainability by recently banning trophy hunting, becoming one of the very first countries in the world to do so. Through partnerships with national and international research institutions, NGOs and the private sector, the Botswana Tourism Organization successfully influences policy to protect and enhance this beautiful environment. It's said that nothing happens in tourism in Botswana without the tourist organization knowing about it. The city of Bydgoszcz in Poland is a shining example of urban regeneration through tourism. A major cleanup of the Brda River has opened up a wealth of opportunities for the city to develop its economy through tourism. The centre has been transformed as an asset for citizens and visitors alike through the creation of a portfolio of new events and attractions. Today it now welcomes over 600,000 visitors a year, providing opportunities for emerging businesses and entrepreneurs and benefiting the city's residents. This is a story of regeneration, civic pride and sustainable tourism growth, with Bydgoszcz providing an inspiration for all destinations in need of post-industrial regeneration. Finland's most popular national park, Pallas Illustunturi, showcases how public and private stakeholders can come together to create economic benefit through tourism whilst protecting land management and conservation priorities. In an area known for its winter wonderland, stakeholders are collaborating on year-round products, cycling, skiing, trekking and hiking, connecting the 150 small enterprises located in the park and providing opportunities for villagers and communities. The park's management model combines practical governance with robust measurement, leadership on climate change and environmental engagement.
Jeff, will you please do the honours and open the envelope?
And the winner for the destination category is Botswana Tourism Organization, Botswana.
Wow, being the first one, very nerve-wracking. I'd like to thank the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards and the World Travel and Tourism Council for the opportunity to showcase how, as a country, our continued dedication towards sustainable tourism and conservation pays off. And it pays off from every level, whether you're looking at a local community, to a national level, to a private sector. And this award wouldn't be possible without the continued leadership for the last 51 years that has helped Botswana come from one of the poorest countries in Africa to one of the richest, both in terms of economic wealth and also as a home to one of the largest populations of African elephants and many other endangered species. Thank you.
Congratulations to Gillian Blackbeard, Executive Manager Marketing, and the team at Botswana Tourism Organisation. Now, our second award category is the Environment Award. This award is for those businesses who actually improve the natural environment through their operations. They promote biodiversity, protect conservation, minimise the use of scarce resources, and look to invest in green technologies. The best in this category are spearheading behavioural change among consumers, staff and suppliers. The sponsor for this award is Ecolab, and I'd like to welcome Greg Crook, Senior Vice President, Global and Corporate Accounts at Ecolab, as well as one of the Tourism for Tomorrow judges, Faith Taylor, Senior Vice President, Global Corporate Social Responsibility at Wyndham Worldwide.
Thank you. At Ecolab, we are proud of the work we do to make the world cleaner, safer, and healthier. That's why we're happy to sponsor the Tourism for Tomorrow Environment Award. We share the belief of everyone here today that sustainable tourism can make the world a better place, not just for visitors, but for people who live in the places people want to go. This award recognizes those who promote conservation, save vital resources like water and energy, educate the public, and doing so every day to make the world a better place. Congratulations and thank you to the finalists for the great work you're doing every day and your efforts to raise the bar for the entire industry.
Thank you, Greg. Now let's take a look at who the three finalists are for the Environment Award. They are Biosphere Expedition of the UK, Cayman Ecological Refuge of Brazil, Mizul of Indonesia. The UK-based Biosphere Expedition has been working since 1999 to deliver ethical, transparent, and effective conservation volunteering trips. The organization's principles define the way it operates. A nonprofit, Biosphere has over the last 17 years reinvested $1.5 million directly into conservation projects worldwide. Furthermore, over 150,000 hours of voluntary wildlife conservation research has helped a diverse range of projects across 4 continents. Biosphere's conservation recommendations and policies have been adopted in countries all over the world. Next, the Cayman Ecological Refuge was set up to achieve what had once seemed impossible: a leading force in jaguar conservation and the first to ever successfully release a jaguar back into the wild. Cayman balances a thriving tourism business with a working cattle ranch and conservation work. The 53,000-acre property has successfully eliminated poaching and turned the poachers into guides. They've also invested in solar technology, provide education, and also offer organic farming. Furthermore, over the last 25 years, Cayman has successfully protected the region's hyacinth macaw bird population. It's ensured that the species is no longer considered endangered. Last, Mizul Eco Resort in Indonesia. They've shown how tourism can provide alternative and sustainable livelihoods for the island communities while having a positive impact on the biodiversity. Since 2005, Mizul has driven the development of, quote, no-take zones in one of Southeast Asia's most diverse and important ocean habitats. They engage the local communities and local authorities, educating them on the value of habitats and providing them with an economic rationale to protect them. The no-take zones is now over 91,000 hectares, and the results speak for themselves. Illegal fishing has been reduced by 86%, and more importantly, biomass has increased by over 250%. And Mizul's influence reaches the very top as well. The resort's management convinced ministerial government to declare the mantis fully protected in Indonesian waters, creating the world's largest manta sanctuary, over 6 million kilometers.
Thank you, Faith. Jeff, will you please open the winning envelope?
And the winner of the environment category is Mizul, Indonesia.
Well done. Congratulations. Are you surprised? Yeah, again. All right, where's it? There's the photographers there. Okay, again. There you go. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so honored and frankly surprised. There were so many other great candidates. Thank you. I want to accept this on behalf of the whole team, my whole team in Mizul, all 165 of you. Hopefully some of them are watching today, especially for the rangers. We have 15 full-time rangers. They're on the water all the time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And without their vigilance, none of this would be possible. So thank you to our rangers. Also to the communities of Southeast Mizul. They've supported our efforts for 12 years now. So thank you to the villages of Fafanlap, Yalu, and Usahajaya. And it is our great hope that we can continue working together and produce something, a lasting legacy for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you.
Congratulations to Marie Miners, co-founder and director of sales and marketing, and all the team at Mizul. Now for our next award this afternoon, the Innovation Award, which is for any project or programme that has shown a new and creative solution to address the challenges of sustainability and help drive forward the agenda at a time when climate change is a priority issue. The category sponsor for this award is Amadeus, and I'd like to welcome to the stage Sven Lierwag, Vice President Industry Affairs at Amadeus IT Group, as well as one of our judges of the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards Winners Committee, Mario Hardy, Chief Executive Officer of the Pacific Asia Travel Association.
Innovation reinvents. Innovation disrupts, sometimes in good ways and sometimes arguably not. Innovation unleashes new markets, and sometimes it serves to preserve the status quo. Innovation surprises by introducing the unexpected. Innovation excites us, it engages us, and it incites us to change the way we behave. True innovation in travel and tourism is not about changing the fundamentals, but it is about changing the way we see and experience travel. The kind of innovation to watch is where creativity and ingenuity, energy and enthusiasm collide to transform ideas into future-proof, sustainable, and inclusive growth. This kind of innovation pursues sustainable growth without jeopardizing the needs of the future generations. We share this responsibility, and we should all feel the weight of it on our shoulders. As a provider of technology to the travel and tourism industry, we're proud to be sponsoring the innovation category of Tourism for Tomorrow Awards. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the three finalists for the Innovation Award, and these are the Mapping Ocean Wealth Initiative by the Nature Conservancy, USA, Native Hotels and Accessible Tourism, Spain, and Soul Yacht, the Netherlands. Mapping Ocean Wealth is a pioneering global study which shows the economic importance of coral reefs as an ecosystem not only for tourism, but for the protection of communities, fish productions, and carbon storage. This internationally collaborative project uses the latest data mapping techniques to quantify for the first time the total and local value of the world's coral reefs, generating 72 million trips and contributing to $36 billion to the world's economy. This powerful tool is being used by governments and industries around the world to understand the importance of investing in the protection of coral reefs. It is an impressive initiative which combines quality, science, technological expertise, and a desire to bring positive change. Next. Native Hotels and Accessible Tourism has developed a new online platform that uniquely has the potential to revolutionize the way those with accessibility needs research and book their holidays. It's the only web platform that is available in 6 languages and can be used by anyone, even if they're unable to see the screen, touch the keyboard, or speak to their computers. So as long as the person can blow into a microphone, they can use the platform. Cloud-based, it can be accessed anywhere, allowing users to compare standards of accessibility across a wide range of hotels. And finally, Soul Yachts. Pioneering approach to water transport opens up a wealth of opportunity for water-based tourism around the world. Their new solar-powered Soulcat 12 is the Tesla of the motorboat industry, a 39-foot-long catamaran that can seat up to 24 people and cruise at speeds from 6 to 15 knots. When cruising at 6 knots, it is 100% powered by the 36 solar panels that covers the entirety of its roof. When in harbor or not in use, the boat can be plugged into the resort's power network, supplying the resort with additional clean energy. This innovation has no carbon footprint, is silent, and no spill. Performance can be monitored from afar over the internet, so it can be used in most remote of locations. This really is the future of sustainable marine exploration.
Thank you, Mario. I don't know about you guys, but I get really nervous at this point. Anyway, Jeff, will you do the honors?
I will. I get nervous as well with these envelopes. Here we go. And the winner of the innovation category is Mapping Ocean Wealth, the Nature Conservancy, USA.
Wow, this is an amazing honor. And on behalf of my colleague Mark Spalding, our Chief Scientist and Chief Innovator, Maria Dominaki, our Global Managing Director, and dozens of partners and other organizations that are part of this, this Mapping Ocean Wealth initiative, we are so grateful to the World Travel and Tourism Council, and so humbled by being in the same room with all these other amazing, and every one of these projects is very innovative. So we thank you for this award. We're very pleased with what we've been able to accomplish. As Maria said, we think we have revealed the value of nature for people, for nature, and for all of your businesses. And I think our hope coming out of this is that we will that you will join us in putting these results to work to protect your businesses, to protect reefs and nature. Thank you very much.
Many congratulations to Mark and Brian, Senior Marine Scientist, Global Oceans Team, and the whole team at the Nature Conservancy. Now, the next category is the People Award. As we know, good people are at the heart of our industry, and this category aims to highlight those organisations who are opening up and dedicating extensive opportunities within the travel and tourism industry through career development, skills and training, education and advancement. It's about ensuring we develop an industry that looks to attract, train and develop the best of the best. The category sponsor for this award is Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Unfortunately, Enterprise can't be with us today, but Chrissy Taylor, Executive Vice President and COO at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, has sent this message for us.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the flagship brand of Enterprise Holdings, is proud again to sponsor the Tourism for Tomorrow People Award. Jeff Taylor, our founder and my grandfather, launched his business 60 years ago with only 7 cars. Yet what really sets us apart in the marketplace is our employees. That's because my grandfather believed in hiring a team with great people skills and only promoting from within. To have so many business leaders start at the bottom is certainly unique, except in the global travel industry. In fact, this industry is recognized and respected for helping ambitious, hardworking people launch careers every day. So it is important to come together like this every year to highlight the best and the brightest through the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards program. Enterprise salutes the achievements of all of the finalists, and we congratulate you for continuing to represent the travel industry with so much professionalism, expertise, and thoughtfulness.
And now please welcome Category Judge Paul Clark, Group Director of Human Resources for Mandarin Oriental Hotel Group, to the stage, please.
Now let's take a look at the 3 finalists for the People Award. Desert and Delta Safaris, Botswana, Streets International, Vietnam, and the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Foundation's China Hospitality Education Initiative. Desert and Delta Safari's 2-year management training program, Leaders of the Future, is one of a number of programs by Desert and Delta. It's an outstanding example of HR practice, providing opportunities for young Botswanans to break into the previously foreign-dominated world of tourism management. The cost of the course is fully covered by Desert and Delta, so it's accessible to all, regardless of income, social status, or gender, and leads to opportunities to work either within the company or externally within the industry. Thanks to the program, since the end of 2013, all the company's managers have been Botswanan citizens. This is an excellent model of how companies, even in the remotest areas, can provide opportunities for local staff development. Streets International is a pioneering program which provides tourism training and opportunities for children from orphaned, trafficked, or disadvantaged backgrounds. Its 18-month residential program has provided 250 young people with fully integrated training in tourism that includes hospitality, culinary, language, and life skills, alongside therapy and apprenticeships. This project is positively changing lives of disadvantaged children and impacting whole families and communities in a meaningful way. China Hospitality Education Initiative, delivered through the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Foundation, is a unique program, as it aims to improve the skills of educators by providing them with the necessary training to prepare thousands of young people across China for a career in the hospitality sector. Working across second and third-tier cities, the program is reaching populations that will benefit the most from these opportunities. The success of CHEI can be seen through its impact. 19 provinces, 87,000 students, 17 educational establishments, 69 hotels, and 600 teachers. This initiative is making a substantial difference to China's tourism sector.
Okay, Jeff, this People Award.
And the winner in the People category is the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Foundation's China Hospitality Education Initiative, China.
Paul, you want to give me yeah, well done. Thank you so much. Hey, well done. Well done. That's fantastic. Hey, Carl. Brilliant. No, pleasure. Come on. There you go. There you go. So you share around. Okay, you going to say something? Yeah. Go. There you go. So yeah, pass that one.
Well, I decided to be positive thinking this morning, so I just wrote some notes about 30 minutes ago, and I'm glad it worked. So first of all, on behalf of the Marriott family, their foundation, and the entire CHI team that works in both the U.S. and China, we couldn't be more deeply honored and humbled to accept this award, especially after this week of having the opportunity to meet and learn about the programs of the other Tourism for Tomorrow finalists. I am not envious at all of the job that the judges had to do, because it was certainly a hard decision, I'm sure. I'd like to just really sincerely thank all the hundreds of schools and teachers and Marriott hotels and Marriott associates that have supported and worked tirelessly for this program over the past 4.5 years. They really brought our CHI programs to life and not only supported but informed our work. And I think that the partnership between academia and industry and philanthropy has been critical to our success. I firmly believe that the role of philanthropy, it's so important for us to take those risks, to try to develop innovative programs and develop methods and models that, if successful, can be shared with a broader community. And in that vein, I'd really like to thank the WTTC and Tourism for Tomorrow Awards for not only recognizing and highlighting the CHIEF program, but all of the program finalists here, because it really does allow us to break down those silos and share information with a broader community, especially in the tourism and travel industry. So thank you very much. We are very honored.
Many congratulations to the entire team involved in the China Hospitality Education Initiative. Now, our last category this morning is the Community Award. And this award is always hotly contested and is for organisations which put communities at the heart of tourism. It focuses on the empowerment of local people, ensuring that they benefit from tourism activities and play an active role in preserving their cultural heritage. The category sponsor for this award is Value Retail, and I'd like to welcome Chantal Khoury, Chief Culture Officer at Value Retail, and Tourism for Tomorrow's judge, Randy Durband, Chief Executive Officer at the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, to tell us more about our finalists.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be here today to present the 2017 Tourism for Tomorrow Community Award. Ensuring the long-term sustainable growth of the tourism industry relies on connecting and engaging with local communities, preserving their cultural heritage, and celebrating diversity. This important award is for those that are making a truly positive impact on people's lives and the communities that surround them. In a world where future business success will be defined by delivering social value hand in hand with financial value, organizations are recognizing the need to look for innovative and collaborative ways to improve the lives and opportunities for their local communities. This belief has always been one of the guiding principles of Value Retail, the company and culture I have helped develop over the past 15 years. I would like to congratulate all the finalists, each of whom have made an outstanding contribution to their own communities. I am personally at once humbled and inspired at learning of their considerable work and community engagement. This award truly recognizes that businesses can be a positive, good force. Thank you.
Now in this final category, let's look at the finalists in the community category. They are Cinnamon Wild Yala, Sri Lanka, G Adventures, Canada, and Ol Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya. Cinnamon Wild's solution to community wildlife conflict is simple but effective. Since 2010, the hotel company has manufactured and donated more than 70 steel cages, enabling local farmers to protect their cattle at night from the globally significant leopard population. Not only are leopards protected, but the farmers' incomes have increased by 20%. Saving calves means increased milk and beef production, and not staying up all night to protect them means that communities are safer and less stressed. This small but transformative initiative is a win-win for the wildlife, for the visitor experience, and the community, and is highly replicable around the world. Next, G Adventures Travel Company has always had community at the heart of its activities. The company was the first to conduct a global supply chain assessment, gauging sustainability and local impact. This confirmed that 91% of the 1,000 plus suppliers were owned by legal local residents. The company's not-for-profit arm, Planeterra, has launched or supported 60 community development projects, helping over 70,000 people gain greater access to education, healthcare, and a sustainable income. G Adventures has also invested and created a trade, not aid model built on a truly collaborative approach. It develops community partnerships through investment in training and capacity building, creating authentic visitor experiences that work for both residents and tourists alike. It is both replicable and scalable. Finally, Old Pajeta's story of community development through conservation and tourism reflects a 25-year inspirational journey. As East Africa's largest rhino sanctuary and home to the world's last 3 remaining northern white rhinos, Old Pajeta has one of the most extensive tourism-driven community development programs in Asia. Ties nicely to John Scanlon's comments. On top of the 650 jobs created by the Conservancy's 6 camps, Old Pajeta provides health care to 20,000 community members, water, solar power, buildings, and IT equipment to schools, as well as stoves and solar devices to households. Over $8 million has been invested so far, with $6.5 million more to come over the next 6 years. This is a leading role model for modern conservancies, combining rhino conservation, cattle ranging, conservation management practices, and community engagement with tangible and impactful results.
Okay, this is the last envelope, Jeff.
Okay. So for our final category, the community category, the winner is Old Pajeta Conservancy, Kenya.
Well done, Moses.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well done. You deserve it. Come and stand in the middle. There you go. There you go. Well done. Go and say a few words to the lecturer. Thanks, Jeff.
I'm very honored this afternoon to accept this award on behalf of Old Pajeta Conservancy, its staff who work very hard to ensure that we have the rhinos protected. And rightly so, because we only have 3 northern white rhinos remaining in the world, all which have to get 24-hour protection, as it was also mentioned by John from CITES. I'm very glad and also pleased with a lot of gratitude to WTTC, Tourism for Tomorrow Awards, and the sponsors. Would not fail to mention Value Retail for sponsoring this category. I dedicate this award to the staff we have at Old Pajeta, like I've said, who work very hard, and mainly to the communities that we work with, people who are very resilient, people who give very interesting stories about their lives, that, for example, in spite of elephants raiding their farms, they will still call me the following morning and tell me that there is a poaching threat. These are the people that really deserve this, and it can only have come out of them. Because for conservation to work, for conservation to be where we want it to go, it will not happen without the support of the communities. Respect them and work with them, involve them. Thank you very much.
And congratulations to Moses Muthoki, Community Development Manager, and all the team at the Old Pajeta Conservancy. Guys, weren't those stories amazing? Aren't you proud of what some people in our industry are doing? I hope, like me, you've been inspired by what's taking place around the world and the achievements of our finalists and winners. I also hope it encourages us to keep developing a more sustainable industry and transforming our world by being the force for good we want it to be. Something we all say, but we need to deliver. I'd like to thank Jeff and the AIG Travel, our headline sponsor, and all our category sponsors, because without their incredible support, the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards would not be possible. Can I also please ask the winners, the finalists, the judges and sponsors to return to the stage for a group photo at the end of this session. And finally, can we have another round of applause for our winners and finalists, all recognised today for their inspiring contributions and outstanding business practices. They are, without question, transforming our world.
Thank you, Fiona. One of the wonderful things is they're not just transforming our world, but the winners were a lovely spread across the world. And that, I can assure you, is entirely coincidental. Each one of them was a runner-up or a winner on their own merits. And it's just coincidence, and a rather lovely coincidence we got that spread. A reminder that the pledge wall still has got some room on it for signatures. A reminder too, as Brett told you, the Tourism Cares booth is out there, and if you'd like to visit that, you might find it extremely useful. They'd certainly be very pleased. When we come back at 2:30, we're going to be exploring new technologies. You'll find little boxes on your seat if you've been wondering what they're for. They're not much good unless you download an app. The instructions should be behind me. They are on the screen. Las Vegas VR. You can find it at the app stores or whatever. If you download that, we're going to demonstrate some virtual reality in 3D this afternoon.